America's first defeat, Northwest Frontier, 1790. 1787. 11 years have passed since the United States of America declared their independence from the British Empire. But for the Americans, building a new nation is proving a formidable challenge. The infant republic is mired in debt, as well as political and economic turmoil. Veterans of the War of Independence, unpaid, desperate, mountain insurrection, Shay's rebellion. The new federal government survives this crisis, but it is hamstrung by the Articles of Confederation, the country's first constitution, which severely limits its power. So, later that year, lawmakers gather in Philadelphia to draft a new U.S. Constitution with much stronger powers for the executive. Native. Meanwhile, in America's newly proclaimed Northwest Territory, another crisis is brewing. In theory, this vast region has been ceded to the United States by the British following the Revolutionary War. It stretches from the Appalachian Mountains in the east to the Mississippi River in the west, and from the Great Lakes in the north to the Ohio River in the south. It was 300,000 square miles of untamed land, abundant in natural resources, and as far as the U.S. is concerned, ripe for expansion. The federal government plans to sell the land to settlers to pay off its enormous debts from the Revolutionary War, about $40 million in all. There is no shortage of demand, and thousands of settlers are eager to travel west to build new farms and towns and start new lives on the frontier. But there is a problem. Not only have thousands of settlers already crossed illegally into the Northwest Territory, the Native American tribes who already live there will bitterly resist any invasion of their ancestral homeland. The United States is stumbling into a war of conquest, a war for which it's badly unprepared, against an enemy it woefully underestimates. European settlers had been encroaching into Native American land for nearly 200 years. The violence was endemic. Some eastern tribes had been virtually violated, and the War of Independence, in which most Native Americans backed the British, saw intense fighting across the frontier. Warriors from tribes such as the Miami, Shawnee, and Lenape, also known as the Delaware, targeted U.S. settlements along the Ohio River, hoping to drive away the intruders. Local militia companies, part-time settler soldiers, responded with reprisal raids. One notorious incident occurred in 1982 at Janatan. Here, Pennsylvania militiamen massacred 96 unresisting Lenape Christian converts, men, women, and children. Native American raids could be equally brutal. There were hundreds of victims on both sides, a cycle of violence that continued year after year. But now, the U.S. government is determined to impose orderly and safe settlement of the region, and crucially, to begin selling the land to settlers, corporations, and speculators. Since independence, the U.S. government has imposed a series of one-sided,